welcome to RidgeLife. I'm Tim, and today on the Ridge, it has finally stopped raining for a little bit. It's still a muddy mess. We've had flash floods here. All the trenches are full. It's just a muddy, soppy mess. But that's not going to stop us from working today. What are we doing today? It's time, guys. 2-aught battery cables. That's right, the EG4 LL-S server rack batteries. We got 12 of them. So we have 2 sets of these 2-aught cables we got to run today. Get a bunch of battery connections going. We're getting close to rough-in inspection by the state. Let's get this work done. Heading into the power shed here, we can see our 3 EG4 6000 XP inverters. And we've got a charge verter down there. That's a 100 amp charge verter. We've got our 600 amp EG4 bus work behind those panels there. We'll show those in just a moment. We have a 200 amp square D panel right there, home line. And then right here, guys, this is it. 2 6 battery racks each, 12 total of EG4 LL-S batteries. Let's open this up. Oh yeah, look at that. Well, we got to get them all wired up today. That's right. We have to get the wires through each cabinet, to each battery. We have to go through this flex all the way around with those big giant 2-aught battery cables. Now check these out, guys. Whew. There's one set. There's another set. Both sets somehow have to fit in that 2-inch conduit down there. Ooh, that's also with this number 8 ground right here. Got to get that through there. We have all these little, I believe these are 4 gauge, I'm not really sure, jumper cables that came with the batteries. That's going to jump plus or minus, all the way down, plus, all the way down. Of course, we also have to get ground to ground all the way through. You can see there's the pass through down there. We'll go through there, go out down there. And if we come around here, let's go ahead and lift up this, see if I can get this off of here. There we go. Let's get this cover off here. You can see that is a 600 amp bus. We got another one over there with a pass through right in between so we can bring the cables in. Of course, we'll have to bring the inverter cables in from above. Why am I barefoot? Because I don't want to get mud in my power shed. If you saw the last video of me pulling the cables in from the well, I got tons of mud on my floor. So I'm only barefoot while I'm in here, okay? So, all right, so let's go see what other materials we'll be using. Besides all the cabling I've got, I also got my trusty Cobalt impact driver. Got some Klein label makers right there, numbered label makers, strippers, tape, screwdriver, and lots of zip ties there. So first thing I do is disconnect the server rack from that flex right there, slide it back, and see how what's the best route to pull those cables through there. Because 4 cables plus the ground through there, it's going to be tight. Get the conduit collar off of here so we can get the server rack slid out of the way. It's kind of the only thing holding them together. I've already got the center one off here. Got the bushing and the nut off, so I'll be able to separate the two. Now with this off, I should be able to roll both of these that way. There we are. Slide, baby, slide. Slide. Whoa, it's heavy. I think this is about 700 pounds right here. This one server rack, and this one is 700 pounds also. There we are. It should give me enough room to work. Come on, get out of the way. There we go. Whew. All right, that should do it. Go ahead and get this 90 off here. And then I'm gonna attempt to do this without, there we go. Do this without taking off the conduit from the wall. Got my Klein wire markers here. And so we got server rack 1 and server rack 2. So I'm gonna label +1, right? And -1. Do this on both ends. There we go. And I'm also going to have number 2 over there. So let me get both ends of these done. Number 1 here. All right, and let's see. We need number 1 right here, don't we? 1. Where's a 1? I've used a lot of 1s already, haven't I? There we go. I don't think I'm going to be using some of the higher numbers. Of course, I could do 1, 2, 1, 1. You know what? There we go. So 1s. I need 2s over here. Where's the 2? 2 should be back here. Goodness gracious, I've used a lot of 2s too. There we go. 2. Listen to those birds out there. Post-storm singing. 2. And another 2 right there. I definitely have to start using some different numbers here. These label makers aren't cheap either. I mean the labels, these pre-made labels. Flip it over right there. 2. I need 2 more. Right there's 2. 1. 1 on this one. Listen to those birds. All right. That everything is labeled. Now I should be able to keep up with what's what. So if this doesn't work, being able to push all 4 of these through this flex without taking it off the wall, I'm going to have to take it off the wall, straighten the flex out, run them all down through it, and then remount the flex. And mounting this flex was not very easy because the bends, I got it. So I'm hoping that I can stagger them and they'll go through no problem. So let's go ahead and get this fish tape in there. And then I should be able to, there we go, fish is out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the cables all together, stagger them so that way it's basically never pulling more than 2 cables at one time. Or, well, towards the end it'd be 4, but hopefully I'll have enough out that it will slide through. Oh my gosh, I've been dreading this for a long time. So if I tape this flat side down to the cable, that should give it a little bit less drag. I'm hoping a little bit less drag. Okay, and do the same thing to the next one. Put it right there. And so now I'm still going to have all 4 of them in the trough at the same, and the flex at the same time. But see, so I got the end is protected by the cable, so it shouldn't grab on anything. Just going around the corner is going to be the tough part. And let's see, all right, number 4. Oh yes, that's going to be thick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip this over. All right, 4 right there. It's going to be crazy. I'm going to do my best though. Flip it over, Tim. Flip it over. There we go. Stay flat, my friends. Stay flat. All right. So now I'm going to try zip tying this to the. This is a pretty good poundage zip tie. It might break. I might use wire later on, but I'm gonna just try zip tie at the beginning here, just to see if that'll pull through. Let's see. All right, let's start pulling. All right, push it through. Number 2's in. Number 3's in. Oh, number 4 is in. All right, now I gotta pull. Whew. Let's see if I can pull. I'm gonna need either 2 people or be able to push this. Let me just try to push again. All right, let's see. Let's see if it'll push. Push. Oh, it's going. Push. Oh, it's out the other end. Yes. Oh my gosh. All right, let me cut the zip tie here. Don't need that on there anymore. And let's see if I can. Oh, I'm pulling. Oh, I need some slack on this end. Push. Push. Oh, it's trying to come through. Yep, there's the first one. This tape right there. Okay, all right. Right in there is the first taped together connection is right at the fitting. So if I can lift up and pull, oh, I got it. I got it. It's out. Look, it's out. That means I should be able to push more. Oh, that other, it's fitting right in the corner. Oh, so close. So close. Oh, maybe the other connector's caught right here. I think it is. If I can just pull. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. There's, oh, the third one's through. Can I get the fourth one? I need some more slack on the other end. Yeah, we get some slack. All right, I think the fourth connector is also right at the fitting there, so it may be. All four cables got to be squared up inside here. All right, we get some slack and see if that'll be enough to pull. You know, if I would have thought about it, I would have staggered these to the red one was the last one. That way I only had to pull it out to here because positive bus, negative bus, and then I can pull the other ones back individually. Whew. All right, let's see if I can get this last one. Oh, we're through. We're through. All four of them are through. Yes. I need a little more on the black one there. So I gotta leave some slack right here for the pull. And I just gotta pull a little bit more here. Just a little bit more. Oh my, so close. So close. Uh-oh. Guys, how in the world did you let me forget? I didn't hear you screaming into the camera. How did you let me forget? I didn't run the ground wire in with these four wires. Now, technically the NEC does not require running the ground wire in the same conduit as the battery wires. But I would like to. It just saves me from having to run another piece of conduit or having this strapped on the wall. The question is, can I fit the fish tape in there and pull this through without it binding up? How did you let me do that? You're supposed to back me up, people. I messed up. I messed up big time. But at least I got these where I need them. So now I can take all the tape off, pull all these back to the right length, and then I'll worry about the ground wire. Well, let me go ahead and bolt each of these cables where I want them. That way, when I start to pull the slack out, I'll pull the exact appropriate amount of slack out. That should be the plan. Put this right in there. Bend those two back. So this is -2. Get that, come on, get a start. I'm gonna come back at the end and not this video, but before I power up, I'm gonna leave everything really nice and loose, and I'll come back. That'll make sure I remember to go torque everything up, because you definitely don't want to have something loose whenever you go to do that. So two, let's pull these two back right here. Let's do this one. And this is one. I'm sorry, this is 1, 2, and 1. Right there. Okay. You know what? Let's see. I'm doing 3 batteries, so it'll be 1. See, I do 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna move up one. I'm gonna move up to here for this battery. I think I'll move right there, get these back in. That way the little more distribution, a little more room. There we go. I'm gonna run the positives through and back. It keeps the fields neutralized and also supports the other cable. And yeah, it gives me lots of room for storage too. I like that. Get that put right in there. Yeah, this going to turn out real nice. Yeah, I wish I had bought one box, but you see I had to cut out at the center there. That way the fields, some people were really worried about the fields interacting, causing heating. So I cut this whole pass-through out, and now I've got positive, negative fields going through there. So that kind of really does eliminate all of that. All right, so we got that there, that will be supported, right? And let's see, number 1, come back through here. And let's see, we're doing this one right here. Is that right? Yep. Get this one out. Pull both of those back. And that leaves me enough room at the top for my 3 inverter positives and 3 inverter negatives, the battery connections for them. That's how it charges. That's how it's charged and charges. So let's get this one right here. Oh yeah. Once I get this done, I should be able to pull the slack back, and then we'll figure out that ground. That ground may be a bear. Okay. All right, so we got this slack to pull out, and we got this slack to pull out, and that's about it. All right, so looks like I need to pull both of the 1s. So 1 red right here. Let's see if we can get this to pull back. Oh. It's like rubber on stuff. I probably should use the butter. Uh-oh, I just ripped that off the wall. Okay, time out. Before I pull these through, or make the attempt to, I'm gonna go ahead and run the fish tape through and see if I can pull the ground wire in and then straighten these up. I think that may be the easiest before I start causing more problems inside there. So let me go ahead and get this fish tape. This would be the key right here. If I can get this big fish tape through here without too many issues. I don't want to damage the wires too, so let's go ahead and push this through and see if it comes out the other end. Oh, there it is. All right, I got the ground taped to the fish tape, and I'm hoping that it pulls through smoothly. I may have to get a little assistance like I am with the red ones. Cross my fingers. All right, here we go. Slide through, babies. Slide through. I gotta get it started over here. There we go. Now it's in. Pull. Here we go. Pull. It's pulling. It's pulling. It's pulling. Oh, got a little back wind up here. Straighten it up. Straighten it up. Here we go. Let's pull. Let's pull. Look, see, it's coming. Oh, hey, we're through. And actually, that's as far as it needs to go right there. Whoo, got lucky. Go ahead and crimp the ground wire while we're here, and that way I can get it the appropriate length. I got some 8-gauge crimps here. Slide this bad boy all the way on. Oh, if it fits in there. Oh, it's got a little bit of a burr to it. I got to twist and get, there we go. Now it's on. Perfect. There we go. Go ahead and get my crimp on here. There we go. That one's good. Let me go inside that one more there. That should do it. Oh yeah, okay. So now we can get it screwed on this ground terminal in here. Come on a little closer. screw in here, get it in the hole. And that should be good. I'll have to put another one on here later to go up to the top. All right, I brought in the big guns for this one. We got Grandma Carol in here again. Hopefully she can push the red and black in. We only got to go about that far, crossing our fingers. I already got the ground wire through, so let's see if I can pull it and she can push it. Let's start with the red one. Go ahead and push on the red one a little bit. See which one it is. No, this it?
Yep.
Nope, that's not it. This one.
Okay.
There we go. That it? Yeah. Push. Push. We're going. We're making it. Keep going. Oh, we're almost there. Almost there. And that's about right. Let me see. Move your hands.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's good right there. Okay, so now let's do the black one. And let's see. It's the short black one. That's this one right here. Should be this one. All right, you ready? Oh, come on. Oh. Push. There we go. Push, 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 push. We're almost there. So close. So close. That's good, that's good, that's good. Whew. Yeah, that's good. Whew, thank you. With her help, we made quick work of that. I appreciate you, Grandma.
Oh, you're welcome.
Everybody says, Grandma, she's not your grandma, she's your mama. Well, we call her Grandma Carol, everybody. Okay.
Everybody calls me Grandma.
All right, thank you much. All right, back to work. I think I'll go ahead and get the 90 flex connector put on before I move the cabinets back over, because getting all these cables through this 90 is going to be a bear. About as bear as pulling those cables just now. So let me go ahead and make sure I got it the right way. All right, so I need it to, when it goes through, this is okay. Whew. You also want to make sure you put the right end in first. All right, so there's that one. Let's make sure nothing gets tangled up here. Ooh, it's going to be tight. All right, let's do this red. Oh man, it is going to be a tight one. All right, now here's the moment of truth. Can I get the last one through? I mean, I know it should, because it went through well, that was a straight, wasn't it? All right, we got it through. All right, so now I just gotta pull, push and pull, push and pull. All right. Oops, forgot the ground wire again. Look at Tim, forgetting the ground wire again. Let's see if I can thread it through there. If I can find the empty space. Come on now. Gotta be some empty space in there somewhere. Oh, I see it. Okay, I see it right there. Right there's empty space. There we go. We're there. We're through. All right. Oh, whew. That scared me. Getting this connector on this last way is being a bear. I don't have any cable butter, but I do have some Dawn dishwashing detergent or equivalent. Let's see if I can put a little bit on here. And that should get some on all the cables. That should help it slide in a lot smoother. All right. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. Look at that. Let me get some on this side, since it has to go that way. Come on now. There we go. All right. It's just soap, so I can always clean it up. Let me get all the cables nice and lubricated. And that should start sliding. Oh my gosh, yeah. So much easier. I went ahead and took off this conduit support. That way I can get a little better fitment here, but it's got to get that slid right in there. Come on, slide it in. There we go. And then, put the collar on. We did it, yay! Before we run the cables into the cabinet, push the cabinets over, I'm gonna go ahead and install all these jumper wires. Those jumper wires have to go between the negative and the negative all the way down, and the positive and positive all the way up on both cabinets. And if I rotate the cabinets around this way a little bit, you'll be able to see me as I do it. I can do it a little quicker, and then we'll have all that, and then we can slide it back in place and run these cables through the hole right there. All right, I have everything prepped up to start installing all the jumper wires. I've got the jumper wires placed right there. See, black, red, black, red. This is all the positive side red, negative side brown. I've got the bolts all removed that I'm going to be using for the connections. I've got the conduit covers off, and I already have the screws out on the bus work that I'll be installing. Got all that positioned down below there. Now the big giant cables you saw, the 2-aught, they're going to be connected to the big bolts down at the very, very bottom there. So that'll be the big connections for the main power coming in. But before I do any of that, I got to make sure all the breakers are off. I don't want any voltage on any of these terminals because I could get a huge pop. Because guys, these are 100 amp hour, 5,120 watt hour, 51.2 volt batteries. And look, guys, if I push this button right here, what do we see? It lights up and it powers up. See right here on the screen? Look at that, guys. Look at that. We are at 52.63 amps. Can you all see that? Is that clear? I mean, not amps, volts, sorry. So it's 50 some odd percent charged already from the manufacturer. So we'll do equalizing charges on those with my charge inverter later, one by one, but we got to make sure everything is off. No voltage on any terminal. All the breakers are off. And then we can start installing all the jumpers. Easy peasy. So these bolts have Phillips head in them. Of course, you can also use a torque wrench on it, which I'll do later. I'm coming back and torque checking everything this entire project before we do our first power up. I've got a checklist. Imagine that. Tim's got a list. But right now, we're just using Phillips. So if I can get this put on right there. Let's see here. Oops. Come on now. I'm going to use this side first because it's already bent that way. Makes it much easier. Alrighty. Mucho easier. There we go. That one started. Okay. And I'm using this bottom one right here, which I'm using these bolts. So then I got to flip this around. There we go. And I'll break the conduit pieces off later once I get everything connected. Right up in the hole. Right there. All right, here we go. All right, again, I'm not tightening just yet, so I can get everything straightened out, lined out. And let me move on down the line here. And I'll be right back. All right, all the jumper wires are installed, bolted in. I'm going to leave the conduit cover off. I'm also going to leave the finger safe covers off the terminals right there. That way it reminds me I've got to torque everything down. Definitely don't want to close everything up and think that everything's tight, and that would create a bad arc. Ooh, bad. That would get hot so quick. So now I think I'm going to slide this cabinet back, run the cables through the hole in the bottom, get it fastened up, and then move over to this cabinet, get all its jumpers done, and then slide it down and be able to fasten it down there and get the cables pushed through. That sounds like the best plan to me. Let's make it happen. Don't forget the ground wire, Tim. All right, ground wire first. And I've got to get the cables pushed through. There we go. And that's the last cable right there. Just push it all through. Come on. Oh, boy. All right. Come around this side. Getting tight. Oh, it went through the door ground there. Can't have that. Why didn't y'all tell me that? Y'all could have said, Tim, you're going through the door ground. All right. That's not good. I almost broke it, too. That'd be bad. All right. Now we should be able to slide it all in. There we go. Now, we got to push this back into place. And pull, slack, push it back, slack. push it back. Slide, slide. One more. Just gotta slide in place. All the way down, right there. Woohoo! All right, that slid over nice and smooth. Now I just need to get the nut and bushing on there. I'm using bushings on anything that's basically greater than 4 gauge or 4 gauge or greater, and then a metal 1.5 inch conduit. But that's really the only place I'm doing the bushings, because it's PVC fittings. You really don't need PVC bushings. It's still controversial whether you even need it on these 2-aught cables, whether I need it, because it's PVC on PVC. But I'm gonna do it. Alright, lock nut is tight. Let's get the bushing on there. There we go. I like it. Alright, I'm going to do the grounds at the end. I got to do grounds in all cabinets. So let's go ahead and start working on the other one, and I'll meet you back in a minute. We can push them together. Got all the jumpers installed on this one. Now I've got to line it up and get the chase nipple through the hole there. Let's see if we can fit it in there. Chase nipple's fully inserted. Got this lock nut on there. Make sure it is tight. There we go. Go ahead and put the bushing on. There we go. Now we can run our cables through. All right, I got both number 2s. Push them through there. Not really worried about the ground right now. I've got to cut the ground. All the slack. And then I'll just shove it up under there, and we'll be able to connect them onto the bus. All right, I got the positive cable tucked up under here. We got to go in this bottom of the bus work. And I got this big bolt, flat washer, lock washer, and it's got a flat, ooh, I got to make sure that's, yeah, it fits, that barely fits. That barely fits. I got to make sure that I get it all the way through and get the flat washer. There we go. I got to get everything behind it, and then I can get it tightened up. It's going to be tight. Going to be tight, literally. Okay, lock washer. Oh, it's hard to get. Okay, I got the lock washer on, and got to get the, got to get the nut, and then I should be able to start tightening. There we go. Get on there. There we go. Might do it by hand a little bit to get it started. There we go. All right, once I get that tight, we'll be able to move on to the negative over there. Again, I'm gonna come back, torque all this stuff. All right, same thing over here with the positive. Again, this bolt barely fits in that hole, which is good, it's tight. There we go. Definitely gonna get good surface area coverage. All right, so slide it in. Let's see. Flat washer. I gotta bend all these back. Whew. Goodness. I'm keeping it real here, people. Keeping it real. It's not an easy job. There we go. Now the nut. If I can get the nut back there. Just get it on there to start. All right, now it started, so let's see if I can get the wrench right there. Again, all appropriate torque values at the end. Not in today's video. That'll be a final check video. There we go. Okay, whew. That should do it. We're gonna leave the conduit off. Gotta get the grounds in here. Gotta get that big ground and the little jumper ground, same thing over there. All right, I got the positive and negative connected in server rack panel 1. So everything's tightened down to good enough for now. Now I've got to get this heavy ground terminals, the bottom in there. So let's cut this. Get it Make sure this is a big old ground now. Okay. And get this stripped back. Go ahead and get this crimped down. Okay, I do the other crimp as well. Get it double, get it double. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we got to get this ground screw out of here. And before I can put this ground on here, I need to make another one of these up that will go all the way through to the other side to the cabinet. Okay, got this one. Now, should be able to put both of these together and get on that ground screw right back there. Whew. It's gonna be a tight one. Let's see, both gotta be this way. Didn't leave myself much room, did I, with all these wires back there? It's all right. We can get to it. We can get to it. All right, that was not easy, but we got it on there and tightened down. Shove this ground through there. Pull it all the way through. There we go. And it's gonna go to that terminal there. Give myself enough slack. There we go. Strip this off. Crimp it on. One more. Good, nice crimp. Okay, that should be do it. And this should be easier to get on that screw terminal. Let me get behind it. All right. Oh yeah, that's so much easier. That one was so much easier than the double one over there. Okay, good job. All right, guys, I let you down. Well, I let myself down most of all. You guys know how I pride myself in always being prepared for a job, right? I got all the tools I need. I got all the materials I need. I got everything laid out, organized. I got a list. Tim has a list. Well, today I didn't quite live up to that expectation. The very last step here, right? So I've got all the positives connected for all the batteries, the negatives on both server racks. We got the big giant 2-aught cables connected to both bus bars all the way over from the main bus bars behind me. We got the ground connected both over there in the 600 amp panel and also these smaller panels or the server rack panels. And now I got to put all these jumpers, right? From battery to battery to battery to battery, okay? Well, I've got connectors, right? Crimp ring terminals. But unfortunately, I've got, the ones I have are a little bit too small. Now I could snip off a piece of wire or two strands off each of these and get them in there and crimp them, and you would never know the difference. But I'd know. Oh, I would know. And it's just not the right thing to do, because basically when you do that, you're reducing the wire size. When you put a smaller crimp and you cut the wire out, you're just reducing the wire size. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to go to the store and order a bunch of the yellow ring terminals to get all these battery negatives, or not negatives, the grounds installed. Not a big deal. Everything looks amazing. Everything's, I'm very, very happy with it. But unfortunately, you're not going to see it 100% done today. Well, I mean, of course, I haven't torqued it down and charged each battery and connected it to the inverter and got to get the communication cables. I got to run Ethernet cables to here also. I had to not plan on doing Ethernet today. The communications cable will be at another time. So again, guys, I apologize. See, they're going to run inside the Panduit right there. Get a ring terminal, pop it right there. Get another one, run it in the Panduit, put the Panduit cover. It's going to be beautiful. Just not today. Not today. All right, let me clean my mess up here, and I'll show you once again what it looks like, and then we'll button everything up. All right, got the floor all swept up, and just to recap, we've got our 600 amp bus right here. That is positives on the left, 1 and 2, negatives on the right, 1 and 2. We got our big old ground connected to that box. I still have to connect one to that and connect to the main box above and connect to the inverter and to the 200 amp panel, ground rods and all that stuff. So a lot more to do there. We've also got our charge inverter. You can see it plugs into the wall, and it will eventually have a generator on the outside that charges the charge inverter, which those battery cables have to go inside here also, positive and negative. So that's more work that's got to be done. And we come over here. We can see I still need to replace that one strap right there that broke in the corner. You really can't see it's broke at the bottom. So I got another one on order for that. Looking at the servers themselves, the batteries, everything looks amazing. I'm still upset about not being able to get the positive and negatives done. I mean, sorry, the grounds done, but it is what it is. I mean, I try my best. I try my best. So that side, everything at the bottom looks good, and I am so surprised we got that back there to fit properly. So I am super, super happy with how everything turned out today, with the exception of the grounds. Well, hopefully you enjoyed today's video of watching me wire up this 600 amp DC bus and these 12 100 amp hour EG4 LL-S batteries. Guys, it was a tough job, but I'm glad Grandma Carol and Dawn dishwashing detergent was here to help save the day. That was some pretty hard stuff. Okay, I did kind of let you down a little bit with the ground jumpers at the end. I promise I'll get that made up to you in a future video, because we have lots and lots to do. If you're interested in getting some of this equipment for yourself, you're doing an off-grid or even an on-grid solar project, this equipment is amazing. And almost all of it's by EG4, but it is all available from Signature Solar down there in the great state of Texas. And I've worked with them for well over a year now, getting this equipment, getting it ready, getting the specs, do the engineering. Those guys are very, very helpful with the technical specifications. So we've got the 6000 XP inverters right here. I got 3 of them available from Signature Solar. The 600 amp bus you saw me wire up, available from Signature Solar. The cables, those big cables, available from Signature Solar. And of course, the server racks and the EG4 LL-S batteries available from Signature Solar. I'll leave links down in the description. Matter of fact, I believe I've got a $50 off coupon code. If you go to Signature Solar right now, order something off there, you can save yourself $50 care of RidgeLife. So guys, I love every single one of you. If you like today's video, give it a big old thumbs up. Like, share, and subscribe. It's always 100% free. Hit that notification bell right down there to be notified anytime a new video comes out on one of our channels. Until next time, hope everyone has a blessed day. Stay with me and go RidgeLife. Woo!